During my visit to France, attending this past 2024, we visited a dairy farm in Brittany, France. And the interesting thing about this dairy farm is that it is run by a third generation farmer. Yes, and that is one fascinating thing. It is run by a third generation farmer, and his family legacy in dairy farming stretches back to his grandparents, his parents, like way back in the 1950s. And today this guy runs this farm himself, his wife, and maybe they have two staff or thereabouts. It is actually very interesting to see that a business span across generation, and this is something that isn't so big in Nigeria. Sometimes when the owner of a business passes on, the business dies. But this is a business that has gone through three generations. So one thing I actually find fascinating is that the life of a modern dairy farmer isn't easy, of course. So they have environmental issues such as climate change, pollution. They're just constant concerns to them, and a whole lot of things fluctuate. But then to be able to maintain this farm over all the years, I think this guy, he probably got his own farmland. It's on a very large expanse of land, maybe hectares of land even, and he has all these cows. And it's just so interesting because even his own children, of course they were probably born on the farm, so his own children are already nursing these cows also. And I find it very interesting because these children are also probably going to grow and become dairy farmers themselves. That is like a fourth generation dairy farm. So we went in company of other people because when I was in France, we attended an animal exhibition show. That was why we were there, and that was what took us to this farm. Of course, I am a poultry farmer and not a dairy farmer, but it is actually interesting that we come to this kind of place, see what is obtainable in other sector, and probably try and replicate things. So at this farm, they have like a robot, like a machine that takes the cow from that takes the milk from the cow. So the cows are not milked manually like we do in Nigeria. So this machine, this red machine you see over here, it milks this cow. And the interesting thing is that this cow, once their glands are full, they know that they should go and queue by the machine, and the machine milks them and they live there. And from one cow they are able to get close to 36 liters of milk every day. So another interesting thing about this farm is that they have everything they need on that farm. Like when we're heading to Brittany, we saw lots of corn planted. And I think what they do is that once they harvest the corn, they just blend everything together. Like they harvest the whole corn, they blend the leaves, the maize, the cobs, everything together and feed their animals. It's actually so interesting because this farm, they have everything they need there. You see every age of the cow, the calves and all that. You see everything there. And they have their feed. Every feed the cows are going to use at every stage of their life, they have it. And while going around, I think another thing I noticed is that at the time we visited the farm, it was just the farm owner, his wife, and the kids who were there. So yeah, you see, like I said, there are different ages of the animals around there, of the dairy cows. So these are younger ones. I think these ones are even about few months old. Yes, they are few months old. So it took us around this farm. We saw all these animals, and of course you can see one thing, that all the animals are tagged. They have tags by their ears. And you see, yeah, that's the daughter of the farmer. So she was actually saying that this particular calf, is it calf, baby cow, what's it called, that this particular one belongs to her. Like she already has what belongs to her already. But it is so interesting that these children are going to grow and maybe run the business after their parents. So these are the feed they keep, and they store, rather, yeah, store, keep, yeah. So this thing is so interesting that the way they store this, it looks like rock on the floor. They will cover it so well it won't get spoiled by rain or sun or anything, and they will always come to take the feed from here. It's actually such a well-planned thing, and it is just great. So one of the greatest challenges that this guy told us that they face as dairy farmer is the rising cost of production. With the prices of feed, fertilizers, equipment constantly increasing, it is a struggle to keep the farm profitable, and yet this farmer remains steadfast because he wouldn't want to give up on something his parents, his grandparents have held on to for so many years. So he's now relying on his expertise, his resourcefulness to stay ahead, and to stay ahead of all the challenges they may be encountering. If you have not subscribed to my channel at this point, I think you should do that now. So he also told us that another major challenges they face is the impact of market fluctuation on in the prices of milk and all that. Yeah, one interesting thing he told us was that the milk they get from the cow, it has no human interaction. Like once that robot milks the cow, the people who are going to buy, the companies who are going to buy it, they come to the farm and they put it in their own, get it into their own vehicles. The milk has no hand interaction and all that. And of course, they also manage their waste. That's what you see here. They manage their waste so well. Everything goes very fine. So he said that a typical day at the, like from the morning, yeah, they start their milking session and they do it up to late in the evening. So himself, his wife, and they have one or two staff that take turns, but they live on the farm fully and they are working fully. And of course, they have to take the bookkeeping seriously. Like their young son we saw that day, he was by the computer, he knew what he was going to do, and it's just such an interesting thing. I just hope that more businesses in Nigeria will become generational businesses that would go from parents to their children, and the children will be interested in doing the business and even make it better than their parents left it. So it's just such a very interesting thing. The world is changing, and I feel that even the younger ones, especially people in agriculture, they should try to inculcate this business, agriculture business, into their children, into their world, so that when they live here, their business, their name will keep will not just die off. Yeah, and that's about it today. So if you know any generational business in Nigeria that is agriculture inclined, let us know. Thank you for watching.